You had always harbored a secret crush on your brother's best friend, Aries. Every time he came over to your house, your heart would flutter and hide behind the wall. You'd sneak glances at him from behind doors or pretend to be casually walking past the living room to catch a glimpse of his smile. He was charming, effortlessly cool, and kind in a way that made your stomach flip, but you never dared to talk to him. He was your brother's best friend. He was off limits, or so you told yourself. You feared the idea of being rejected, or worse. That afternoon, you find out that Aries wasn't in your brother's room, so you decide to tell your brother about your crush. Even if it was a bit risky, you knocked on his door, then slowly pushed it open when you didn't hear a response. Inside, your brother was sprawled across the bed, lying on his stomach, his elbows propped up as he scrolled on his phone. "Hey, brother," you said, your voice timid and your hands fidgeting behind your back. I have to tell you something." He didn't look up. "Yeah, what is it?" he asked casually, still fixated on his phone screen. You bit your lip, hesitating. Your cheeks already began to warm. "I have a crush on your best friend," you blurted out, voice barely above a whisper. His head shot up. "Wait, what?" You blushed even deeper. "Promise me you won't tell him." "Okay, please, just keep it a secret," you pouted at him, still stunned. Your brother stared at you wide-eyed, with his mouth slightly agape. You couldn't bear to hear what he might say, so you quickly turned around and left the room, your heart pounding in your chest. But what you didn't know was that your brother wasn't just on his phone. He had been FaceTiming someone who was his best friend, Aries. He had heard everything you just said, and when he glanced at his phone, Aries's eyes were wide, and his cheeks flushed red. His mouth was covered with his hand. After leaving your brother's room, you rushed to your room and slammed the door shut. You slumped against the wall and buried your face in your hands, your head spinning with thoughts. Had you really just confessed your secret crush? You lay on your bed, staring blankly up at the ceiling. Your mind raced with scenarios. What would happen now? Would your brother tell Aries? Would Aries reject you? Would he be weirded out by the fact that you liked him? Before you could spiral into a panic, there was a soft knock on your door. A soft knock came again, light, hesitant. "Hey, it's me," a familiar voice said from the other side of the door, warm, low, and way too close to your racing heartbeat. "Can I come in?" Your breath hitched. "Aries, here now." You froze, eyes wide, mouth dry. I. But before you could answer, the door creaked open, just enough for him to slip inside. He stood there, in his stupidly perfect glory, dark hoodie slung over one shoulder, that crooked smile playing on his lips, like he knew a secret you didn't. "I heard something interesting," he murmured, voice teasing but soft. "Guess secrets aren't very good at staying hidden around here." His cheeks were still pink. "You heard," you squeaked. Aries stepped closer, slow and sure. "Every word," he grinned. "And for the record, best friend or not, I'm definitely not saying no." You blinked in disbelief, your heart doing a somersault. "What did he just say?" Aries chuckled, leaning against the wall now, arms folded, those emerald green eyes fixed on you. "I gotta admit, he kinda had a feeling this whole time." You gaped at him. "You did?" Yeah." He shook his head, smirking. "Every time I come over, and you try to pretend you're not sneaking peeks at me." "Seriously?" You flushed, the color rushing to your cheeks. He knew. He pushed off the wall and took another step closer, his tall frame casting a shadow over you. Your heart skipped a beat. He had never been so close before, and turn red any time I talked to you. Not subtle, sweetheart. His use of the pet name almost made you swoon. You bit your lip, trying to regain your composure. Aries seemed to notice. He chuckled, a lazy but amused smile tugging at his lips. He reached out and brushed a stray lock of hair from your face. His touch sent a shiver down your spine. Adorable, he murmured, his eyes glittering with a mix of teasing fondness and something else, something heated and intense. You swallowed hard, trying to regain your thoughts. Aries was now standing right in front of you, one hand resting on the wall behind you, trapping you in place. His presence was overwhelming, his scent, his warmth. The way he looked at you with that lopsided grin, your breathing quickened. You couldn't look away. Every fiber of your being was screaming to close the small distance between you two. His gaze flicked down to your lips and stayed there for a beat too long. Your tongue darted out, wetting your lips nervously. You saw Aries' eyes track the gesture, darkening slightly. His hand moved to cup the side of your face, his thumb tracing the line of your jaw. The touch sent sparks through your skin. You have no idea how long I've wanted to do this, he whispered, tilting your chin up with a finger. His gaze flicked to your mouth again. How often I've imagined. Then, in one smooth motion, he closed the distance. His lips met yours, soft at first, hesitant, like he was giving you a chance to pull away. But when you didn't, when your hands grabbed his hoodie and pulled him closer, he deepened it. Aries kissed like he knew exactly what he was doing. Confident, warm, addicting. One hand slid into your hair, while the other wrapped around your waist, tugging you flush against him. Your knees nearly gave out when he finally pulled back, breathing heavy. He rested his forehead against yours with a smirk. Well, he murmured, that was worth waiting for. You were dizzy, your head spinning. Aries was still so close, his breath mingling with yours. His eyes had darkened even more, now almost black. You saw a flash of something raw and intense in them, almost possessive. His fingers traced light patterns on your waist. You leaned into his touch, unable to help yourself. Your heart was thundering in your chest. Aries smirked again, like he knew just how much he was affecting you. His voice was a low rumble. You're trembling, sweetheart. You blushed, realizing he was right. You were in complete and utter shambles. All because of him. Aries chuckled, clearly pleased with himself. He leaned down to place a light kiss on the tip of your nose. Guess I have that effect on you. Huh, he whispered, his hands still holding you close. Who knew you were such a mess for me? You swatted at him weakly, trying to regain some sense of control, but he just caught your wrist, spinning you around, so you were pinned between him and the wall. This time, his body was fully pressed against yours, his arms braced on either side of your head. You could feel the heat radiating off of him. Aries leaned in, his mouth next to your ear. Admit it, he murmured, his voice a rough whisper. You're completely and utterly smitten with me. You can't hide it anymore. Damn him. You closed your eyes, unable to deny it any longer. Your heart was in a vice. Your skin was on fire. Every nerve in your body was screaming for more. Fine, you panted, your voice shaking. I'm completely and utterly smitten with you, you arrogant bastard. Aries let out a low, satisfied chuckle, his lips brushing the shell of your ear. Good girl, he murmured, voice dark with affection. Now that we've got that out in the open. He spun you gently to face him again, cupping your chin. His eyes burned into yours, playful, yes, but also fiercely tender. Let's skip the awkward part, he said with a smirk. We both know this is happening now, and before you could respond, his mouth crashed into yours again, hungry and sure this time, not holding back. You were so not getting out of this one unscathed. You melted into the kiss, the last of your defenses, completely unraveled. Ares lifted you suddenly, hoisting you up into his arms. You gasped into his mouth, your legs wrapping around his waist. Instinctively, he held you without effort, pinning you against the wall. The world narrowed to nothing, but the feel of his body against yours, the heat of your breaths mingling, his teeth biting just hard enough on your bottom lip. You clutched his shoulders, holding on for dear life. You're mine now, Ares growled between kisses, voice rough and possessive. No more hiding, no more sneaking glances. Got it. You could only nod, breathless and dizzy with want. He grinned against your lips, smug, victorious, like he'd just won the best prize in the world. And then someone knocked on the door. You two done in there? Came your brother's voice, half amused, half horrified. Because I can hear everything. You froze, eyes wide with horror, your face burning, hotter than ever. Ares didn't even flinch. He just chuckled low in his throat, still holding you against the wall, like nothing was wrong. Yeah, bro, he called back lazily. We're busy. Excuse me, your brother sputtered through the door. Ares finally set you down, slowly, never breaking eye contact. His hand slid into yours. Come on, he whispered with a wink. Let's go explain that I'm stealing your sister. And just like that, you weren't hiding anymore. Your brother was gaping, looking between you and Ares with shock. His mind was clearly short-circuiting, trying to comprehend the picture in front of him. Ares just grinned, pulling you against his side with an easy nonchalance, like he hadn't just turned your world upside down. Your brother finally spluttered out a half-formed question. How went WH? Ares winked at him, that same smug grin on his face. Just now, he said simply. I kissed her, and she kissed me right back. Your brother looked like he was about to combust, his face cycling through a rainbow of shock, betrayal, and reluctant acceptance. Dude, he finally sputtered, pointing at Ares. You literally just heard. She liked you an hour ago. Ares shrugged, completely unfazed. One arm stayed wrapped around your waist, like he had no intention of ever letting go. And I acted on it, he said smugly. Fast mover, you know me. You buried your face in Ares's shoulder to hide your own embarrassment, but also because you were laughing. Your brother groaned dramatically and flopped backward onto his bed like the world had ended. Great, he mumbled to the ceiling. Now, every time you come over, it'll be this. I'm traumatized. Ares leaned down and whispered in your ear with a grin. Worth it. You swatted at him again, torn between a mixture of happiness, embarrassment, and annoyance. He just laughed, dodging your feeble attempts. Your brother was now groaning and muttering about trauma and therapy. In the background, the dramatic little jerk, but deep down, you knew he wasn't actually upset, at least not really. Ares glanced towards the bed with a smirk. He'll get over it, he said, tugging you even closer. He's just jealous. Brother shot up, indignant, What? You getting to make out with my sister? Hard pass. Aries just grinned, unbothered. Yeah, that part is pretty great. He leaned down and pressed a quick, loud kiss to your cheek, just to irritate him more. You squeaked in protest, but couldn't hide your smile. Your brother groaned again and covered his face with a pillow. I'm telling Mom you corrupted her. Tell her, Aries said casually, as he started pulling you toward the door, that I've been corrupted too. He turned back with one last smirk at his best friend. By her? You couldn't believe he just said that. Warmth flooded your chest, sweet, giddy, overwhelming. Even your brother peeked out from under the pillow, momentarily stunned by the sincerity behind Aries's words. Aries tugged you gently toward the door again, not letting go of your hand. He paused in the doorway and glanced back at you with a softness in his eyes that made your heart stutter. You've been my secret crush too, he murmured, just for you to hear, for asterisk, way longer than you think. And with that, your brother dropped the pillow and actually whispered asterisk, oh no, Aries has feelings. Your heart was about to burst, full to the brim, with happiness and disbelief. Aries, the guy you'd pined over for years, was now openly expressing his feelings for you. And your brother was, well, stunned speechless, to say the least. Aries chuckled, clearly amused by your brother's reaction. He shot one more wink at you before leading you gently out into the hallway. The moment the door shut behind you, you found yourself pulled into his arms once more. He captured your lips in another searing kiss, his hands cradling your face like you were precious. You responded immediately. Every thought was swept away by the heat of his touch, the press of his body against yours, the faint, almost intoxicating scent of him that you'd come to adore. One of his hands tangled into your hair, angling your head to kiss him deeper. The other slid down to your hip, pulling you flush against him, so there was no breathing space between you at all. Aries finally broke away gently, his forehead resting against yours. You have no asterisk idea how long I've been waiting to do that, he murmured softly, breathless. Your heart was racing. The intensity in his eyes, the way he held you like he never wanted to let go. It was almost too much to handle. You swallowed, trying to find your words. Then, from behind the now closed door, came your brother's voice again. He sounded slightly mortified and very exasperated. Oh man, you two are totally one of those gross, lovey-dovey couples. You couldn't help laughing at that. Your brother's grumpy comment cut through the intensity for a second. Enough for you to remember the fact that, holy crap, you were standing in the hallway with Aries, your brother's best friend, and he had just kissed you thoroughly. Aries just chuckled, not seeming to mind the interruption. He turned his head slightly, calling back through the door. You're just jealous because you're single, bro, again. You could hear your brother sputtering indignantly through the door, no doubt trying to come up with a witty comeback, but failing. Aries shook his head with a smirk, amused by his friend's reaction. Then he focused those gorgeous green eyes on you again, that tender look returning to his face. Ignore him, he murmured, running a thumb lightly over your cheek. He's probably just mad I called dibs first. You couldn't help but melt a little more. Gods, he was *2 perfect. His words, his touch, the way he looked at you like you were the only person on this damn planet. It made your heart skip a beat every single time. You're an idiot, you mumbled, trying to sound annoyed, but the smile on your face kind of ruined the effect. Aries just grinned, clearly seeing right through your act. "You're idiot," he murmured, leaning down to brush a quick kiss against your nose. You rolled your eyes, pretending to be unaffected, but the warm flutter in your chest betrayed your true feelings. Behind the closed door, your brother was now making gagging sounds. Typical. Aries shot a pointed look at the door, raising his voice slightly. "Seriously, bro, grow up." Your brother's response was a dramatic moan. "You two are sickeningly cute." It's asterisk gross asterisk. You had to bite your lip to keep from laughing and giving him the satisfaction. Aries just snickered, shaking his head. "You're such a baby," he called back through the wood. "We're just expressing our love." Your brother's melodramatic groan echoed loudly from the other side. "Spare me. My poor eyes and ears can't handle this level of romance so early in the day." You couldn't hold back the giggle that slipped out. Your brother's overdramatic antics, coupled with the sheer joy rushing through every nerve in your body. It was too much to handle. Aries smirked at the sound, clearly enjoying your smile, almost as much as he enjoyed riling your brother up. "You're just jealous someone's getting some, and you're not."